Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. My name is Dave Dunbar. I was the National Sales Manager for General Pipe Cleaners for many years. I officially retired a few years ago. Now I'm working part-time, and I have the title of Customer Success Specialist. So I go around and I do things like this to sort of raise awareness on drain cleaning and how people can actually make a lot of money with this type of program. So what we're going to do, there we go. The objectives for today. What have other people in my situation experienced? If you're thinking about actually bringing drain cleaning in-house, what has been other people's experiences? Okay, that's always good to take into consideration. And of course, is it a good business decision for me? And how do I tell? How do I tell if that's true? Is there a yuck factor, the importance of addressing the emotional aspects of the job? There's a lot of people that really don't want to touch a sewer snake, okay? And I understand, but you know, these are not your father's drain cleaning machines. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. But the emotional factor, people just not wanting to do this, can be one of the big impediments to bringing drain cleaning in-house. And if it is a good decision, if I decide I want to do it, how do I make sure I'm using the correct equipment? Okay. So first, what has been the experience of other people in my situation who have bought drain cleaning in-house and invested in their own equipment? Now I have a few videos here. I'm going to show some are longer than others, but let's go to the first one here.
Hi, I'm Frank Lickey with the Loudoun County Public Schools in Virginia. I have a Typhoon jetter, and it paid for itself the first 2 months I had it.
First 2 months you had it?
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much for using our equipment. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, now with Frank, basically, he said that his Typhoon trailer jetter, which is a $27,000 investment, paid for itself within 2 months. Now, we'll talk about this a little bit more, but one of the things you have to look at here is how much are you paying now for people to come in and do similar work? Obviously, he had people coming in and using a trailer jetter to jet out some lines in his school district. He has something like 10 facilities in his school district. It's a big school district near Washington, D.C. Okay? But if you have the right situation, this type of equipment can pay for itself very quickly. Okay, so don't be afraid of looking at it. So second here.
Dimitri Stephanopoulos, representing New York City Public School System. I purchased a kinetic water raft from General Tools about 14 years ago. Traveled to 2 or 3 different schools. My career, this tool works great. We've unclogged water fountains where students have been pouring coffee grinds down the drain and all sugary drinks. 1 or 2 blasts with the water ram, water goes down. We've done bathroom sinks, kitchen sinks. Great tool, requires no power, no electric. Just crank it up and go.
Okay, so Dimitri works for New York Public City Schools. And basically, he said 14 years ago, he bought one of these pieces of equipment. And he likes it because he can solve problems before somebody can pick up a phone and actually get a plumber to come out and actually, clear a drain or do something like that. He has something on site where he could solve the problem. But also keep in mind that he's had this thing for 14 years. That's another point we'll come back to. Okay? So next, this is not a video. Basically, Rob Holscher, he has Colorado Bear Creek cabins. So he takes care of these cabins, and essentially he emphasizes the importance of prompt service for guests in clogged drains. We never resolve problems over the phone. We're not absentee owners. So this is a good point. Basically, if you have the equipment on site or close to on site, then you can actually be much more responsive for the people who are your clients or your customers, the people that you're working for in these situations. Okay, so it's something to keep in mind as far as just sort of the service that you're providing. And this, now, Mike Jackson, he's actually a plumber, but I wanted to play this. I'll talk about it afterwards, just for obvious reasons here.
Mike Jackson, Modern Plumbing, Avon, Indiana. Been in business since 2005. We've owned a lot of the General machines, the 91s, the 380 jetter. Equipment's been very durable, very lasting. I still have a Gen I2 camera as well. Been good equipment. Equipment's very lightweight, easy to use, doesn't take much training to use. Have no problems with it. Pretty much maintenance-free equipment.
Michael, I hear that you have a cable that you've had in that 91 for quite some time.
Yeah, we've got two 91 machines that have the original cables in them, the 3/4 and the 5/8 cable.
And how old are the machines? How long you have?
17 years.
17 years.
Yeah.
And you've had the same cable in for 17 years, haven't broken it?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
so that,
Maintenance, snake oil, that's the trick.
there you go. All right.
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to play this, Mike is not sort of a genius when it comes to preventative maintenance. He just does what we recommend. At the end of using a machine, he does routine maintenance. He basically drains water from the drum or from the cable, and he puts a lubricant on it. We call it snake oil. Now, pretty much everybody out there, General has all this stuff, Rigid has all this stuff, Milwaukee has a lot of machines, Spartan. There are a lot of machines out there that if you take care of them, they will last 17 years, 20 years. In fact, I've talked to Mike recently. He's still going strong on these machines. He's over 20 years. Okay, so these machines will last a long time, which is one of the points we want to talk about, because that affects your calculations as far as how you decide whether or not this is going to be a good decision for you. So, cost effectiveness. How much did you spend on outsourcing drain cleaning services last year? And then, of course, the most obvious thing is, what is the price of the equipment that you would need to bring those services in-house? Okay, that's the most basic calculation that you can do, okay, to see what it's going to cost for 1 year. Okay. Now, in addition, though, this chart basically, if you're, let's say, getting 10 plumbing visits a year and it's costing you $200, this is costing you $2,000 a year. Okay, if you're getting 25, cost $200 per visit, it's costing you $5,000 per year. So again, this is simple. But take a look at the bottom chart there. If you get a small General machine, again, this would be similar for pretty much any kind of machine that you have out there. We have a ballpark price. Okay, for a small machine, we say $571.10. Average lifetime, and we're being very conservative on this. Let's say it lasts 5 years. We have machines out there that have lasted 25 years, but still, let's say it lasts 5 years. So the cost per year, when you amortize the cost for that machine, is $114.22. Look at a medium-sized machine. It's a little over $1,000. They last usually on an average of 7 years, but again, they can last longer if you take care of them. If you take a look, cost per year, $143. Large machine, $2,000 essentially. Average lifetime, 10 years. Average cost per year, about $200. So, you have to take a look and see what the lifetime of the machine is going to be before you actually make your calculations. And this is critical, because you can't just look at the price of the machine. You're going to have this machine, and it's going to be doing good work for you for many, many years. And if you take care of it, like Mike Jackson was saying about just doing preventative maintenance and putting oil on it, and if it's a metal style machine, then it can last longer. So you are actually in control of how long these machines are gonna last for you. Okay. So cost effectiveness, you have to take several things into consideration, but again, it's simple. You know, how much did you pay last year for somebody to come in, and what's going to be the average lifetime of the machine? Is this going to make sense? Going back to the first video we saw, Frank Licky, he paid for his $27,000 machine in 2 months because he obviously had a lot of work being done on a regular basis. Okay? Depends on your situation. Where are you in terms of drain cleaning in your facility? So we recommend using professional grade cables, heavy gauge wire, because basically all these professional machines, we tend to feel that General is the best cable out there and you can use it in any machine. But all these machines that you could have out there have professional grade cable that you can use if you're using a snake style machine. And a lot of them have warranties. Other costs and savings associated with preventative maintenance schedules. So you have to think about this. Preventative maintenance. We always recommend people doing preventative maintenance as opposed to emergency management, right? So, and once you actually fold your preventative maintenance schedule into your overall maintenance schedule, basically what you're doing during the course of a month, it gets, you can do it more effectively. There are secondary and tertiary issues associated with a logically applied preventative maintenance schedule. Okay, waiting for problems to appear is penny wise and pound foolish. Preventative maintenance is much more effective. Okay, so again, preventative maintenance is always superior to emergency management. It's less money, and it does much better service for the people that you're working for. Okay. So I mentioned that there are some emotional aspects to the decision-making process. I've talked to people that really just sort of like, yeah, it would make sense for me. I can see where this would actually save me money, but I just really don't want to do it. You know, it's they might be afraid of doing it. They might just not want to, touch sewer snakes. Well, modern drain cleaning equipment, when properly used, is relatively sanitary and easily mastered. Okay, for example, we sell to the tool rental industry. So somebody walks into a tool rental place and they say, well, do you have anything for drain cleaning? We will rent them a machine. And the guy who rents it to them, if they have never looked at anything like this before, they'll spend maybe a couple minutes with them, showing them how to use this equipment. And yet, usually people are successful, okay? So even in a situation like this, which is a worst case scenario, essentially, you're taking somebody that's not familiar at all with drain cleaning, you're renting the machine, we find that this is a booming business for walk-in tool rental industries, okay? So drain cleaning is not rocket science. It's a skill like any other, the fundamentals of which can be understood in minutes and mastered in hours, especially with new style equipment. Okay, we have instructional videos. And this is just, again, any company that you went with would have instructional videos that would go step by step by step as far as how you do this, how you keep safe, and how you make it more effective, and how you stay sanitary. Okay, so we have literally like 100 instructional videos on our website, and we believe that pretty much everybody else has about the same. Okay, so instructional videos. It's true, the learning curve slopes upward for years after the initial experience, but acceptable levels of proficiency and safety can be acquired on the first day. So just, keep calm. Okay, this is something that that your guys can do, or you can do. Now, I want you to take a look at this machine that this fellow is using here. You notice that it's a drum style machine. But it looks like here's a big spring that he has his hand around, his left hand around, right? Well, it does. That big spring is called a guide tube. Okay, the cable actually comes down through that guide tube down into the drain. It separates the customer from the cable, the operator from the cable. It's almost, if you have this thing set up properly, if you have it down the drain enough, then you find it very difficult to hurt yourself with this machine. Plus, you're not actually touching the cable. It's inside that spring, inside that guide tube. We find that this actually makes it much more safe. It also allows you to push the functional limits of the machine more than you could if you just had the cable going down into the drain without a guide tube on it. Okay, so it's safer and allows you to do more work. We find in the factory when we're doing tests on this, we can get the cable to go much further when we're using a guide tube than we can if we're just sort of putting it down the drain. All these companies that are out there selling drain cleaning equipment in the facility maintenance industry have things like this. They have a guide tube. I would strongly recommend that if you get a snake style machine, you get something that has a guide tube, guide spring, whatever the company calls it, because that's going to be safer for your operators. It's going to allow them to do more work. And basically, it's a modern way of doing drain cleaning, okay? So, any questions on that, let me know. So, choosing facility appropriate equipment. What equipment should you purchase? And we make the point in drain cleaning that one size does not fit all. We say that there are three types of drains. There's small, medium, and large, okay? Small drains would be like on the left there, something going down a sink. Hardly anybody does this going down a sink, like what you see the person with the small handheld drill machine doing on the left there. They usually go down underneath and take the trap off, but you could go down a small drain this way. Small drains are usually 1.25 to 2 inch, and you need a smaller cable, a more flexible cable in order to do an effective job in those pipes. The middle picture shows somebody using a medium-sized machine and a medium-sized pipe. Basically, medium-sized pipes are connecting pipes that are indoors that connect one or more sinks or bathrooms, okay? So usually these pipes are 2 to 4 inch, okay? And we need a medium-sized cable in order to actually do the work, okay? So what you see somebody there is using a medium-sized cable in a medium-sized drain. And the large style is the same picture we just saw. Somebody using a large style machine with a large style cable. So the bigger the cable, then the bigger the drum that has to contain it. Okay? It's engineered so that you fit the cable in there and it can basically come in and out safely. Okay, but small, medium, and large. If you go and try to do a large drain with a small machine, you're going to break the small machine. Okay, there's too much room to roam for the cable. It's going to come back on itself. It's going to kink. Same thing if you try to go into, let's say, a medium-sized drain with a large machine, and you have twists and turns, and it's only 2 inches, you're going to get the cable stuck, and it's going to break. Okay, so you basically have to have the right tool for the job. Okay, so you can take a look and see what are the pros bringing to the job. You know, what are they bringing? That'll give you a pretty good idea on what you need. They usually have closet augers, something you'd use to open up a toilet if a plunger doesn't work. Handheld machines, like that drill style machine that we saw. Floor model machines, which are both medium and large. And you might see them bringing jetters out. Jetters are an interesting choice for preventative maintenance, depending on whether your facility has food service. Okay, if there's grease going down the drain. Jetters are high pressure water jetters. It's like pressure washing the inside of the drain, with a long hose with backward facing nozzles. And again, they're very good for preventative maintenance. Also, you might see cameras. And they might bring cameras out to your job. So, closet augers. These are closet augers. Again, you would use these in a toilet if a plunger didn't work. And again, be aware of the type of cable that you're using, because that can make the difference between success and failure. We usually have a chart, and again, most companies will have a chart like this. Will help you, get the right cable for the job. 1.25 to 2-inch, 1/4-inch cable, 5/16 is 1.5 to 2-inch, 3/8, etc. You just go up there. Basically, for large style pipes, you're going to be at 5/8 or 3/4. Okay. So again, small pipes, small machines. Medium size pipes, medium machines. Large pipes, large machines. Okay. Now, if you have, like I said, if you have grease in the lines, if that's a problem for you, then you have to take a look and see, well, what is the obstruction? Is the obstruction a hard obstruction, or is it a soft obstruction? Do you have perhaps roots in the pipe that is causing, the problem, the obstruction? Or is this grease because of people putting, grease and foodstuff down the drain? Jetters do a much better job of clearing grease than a snake style machine. Snake style machine will just basically poke a hole in a grease clog, okay? But it won't really open it. It'll poke a hole in it, and then that grease clog is going to re-heal in a few days. So you'll be back in there again, trying to open up the drain. Whereas if you go through with a jetter, it scours the inside of the pipe to the point where it looks like a new pipe. If you go through with a small camera, it would look like a new pipe. So we have, of course, and everybody has small, medium, and large style jetters. On the left there, you see our JM1000. That's something that you'd use just for sinks. Okay. Again, people don't usually go down the drain the way he's doing. You would go underneath. You'd pull the trap and hook the water supply underneath the sink and go down that way. And again, for kitchen sinks, we find that people have been telling us for years that 1/2 to 3/4 of the grease that's coming up today's world is within about 10, 15 feet of a kitchen sink down the drain. So going through with a jetter is much more effective, because when you're done, it looks like a new pipe. We also have a medium-sized jetter over to the right side. So you can do small and medium-sized pipes. This is an electric jetter. And we have others as well. We have, starting with the JM 2900, JM 3000, JM 3055. That's the JM 2512 Typhoon that Frank was talking about earlier. And we have what happened? There we go. So we have a whole range, but everybody does, okay? Any company that you would deal with would have basically a whole range of jetters that you could pick from. Camera systems. So I would ask the question, how many camera jobs did you need last year? And do you have something going on, sort of like you're trying to locate pipes that are old pipes that you really don't know where they are, where you need the location feature from a camera? If you don't have one of those things happening, and you don't have a lot of camera jobs, then this is something that probably would be better just to rent or have somebody come out and do. Because cameras are fairly expensive. And it's harder to break even on these, although you can do it. Again, it depends on your situation. If you have people out there with a camera all the time, well, then, this is something you should really take a look at. So, camera maintenance. It's one thing. If you do get a camera, you want to really You basically want to learn how to use it properly so that you don't break it. Okay. We find that there are people out there that hardly ever break their camera systems, and other people that break it every 2 weeks. So there's a learning curve, and we can help you with that. Where to buy drain cleaning equipment? Well, wholesalers, distributors, catalog, online dealers, HT Supply, USA Blue Book, Global Equipment, etc. But again, there are wholesalers and distributors in every city that specialize in facility maintenance. So just to recap, first of all, do the math. Do the math. I mean, what do you have going on now? And how much are you spending now? And then amortize the price of these things so that you're actually looking at something accurate for the price of the equipment for its lifetime, as opposed to just the first year price. Okay. And then just, chill. We've got your back. We can help train you. We can help the safety. We can help the effectiveness. We don't think of drain cleaning as rocket science. It's not. You can acquire acceptable levels of proficiency on the first day. Okay. So tool selection is usually not a big issue once management is aware of the range and expense of the options. You're not going to have a hard time with this. Basically, look to see what other people are bringing out to your job site, and you'll be able to see what you need and just what kind of pipes are you maintaining on a regular basis. Okay? And ultimately, coming in-house, a drain cleaning operation is a business decision like any other. The goal is to fold drain cleaning into your regularly scheduled preventative maintenance routine. Again, we like to say that preventative maintenance is always superior to emergency management. But you have to have the equipment in order to do preventative maintenance on a regular basis. Okay. So I see one question. What about high pressure air? Well, we usually don't force high pressure air down the drain, but we do have a device called the kinetic water ram. That's what Dimitri Stephanopoulos was talking about in the video that he was in. You pump it up and it creates some pressure inside the pressure chamber, and you let it go all at once. So long as you have a solid column of water between you and the obstruction, it sends a shock wave down the pipe. Okay. And it'll knock it out of the way, basically. It's sort of like hitting it with a hammer. Okay, so that's the closest we come to using pressurized air, but it's actually what it's doing is sending a shock wave down there. Okay. Let's see. How to train your staff in the use of drain cleaning equipment. Well, here's the thing. We have people on the ground. We have reps in most places in North America. We have videos. We have operating instructions. We have ways that you can train people. So, for example, if I wanted to learn how to use one of the machines, I would probably go on General's website, or even we have a YouTube channel as well. So you can go on YouTube and you can search for how to operate this machine. And there are probably going to be a lot of video options that come up for you. And that's what people are used to doing now. I mean, I find that when people want to know how to do something, they turn to YouTube, the University of YouTube. So that we got that covered. Another one, can you use any of these machines to pump out a grease trap in a commercial kitchen? No. You can clean the pipe leading to the grease trap, but it will not suck the grease out of the trap. No, it will not. People have equipment for this. Pumper trucks, for example, can come and vacuum this stuff out. But the jetters, no, they will clean up to the grease trap, but they won't do the grease trap itself. No. So, any other questions? Let's see. When I said how to train your staff in the use of drain cleaning equipment, I think this is a positive because I get pretty much every company that's out there doing machines for facility maintenance has a pretty good system for training. And again, General has boots on the ground too. They have people that can actually visit your facility and talk to them. So, any other questions? Okay. So again, thank you very much for spending a half an hour with me. I hope this was worthwhile. And any other questions, feel free to, you can contact me through General. It's 800-245-6200. There we go. And you can talk to the Drain Brains. That's our customer service department. And if need be, you can get in touch with me as well. Okay. But the Drain Brains are going to be able to help you with pretty much any question that you might have. Okay. So, and again, if you don't end up with General, any company that you would deal with would pretty much have the same kind of situation. It might be a little biased. I think our cables are the best in the industry, but please, take a look at this. You can do a much better job for your customers, and if you take care of the equipment and actually maintain it, do preventative maintenance, this stuff can last a long time, and you could be in that same boat as Frank Licky, having something pay for itself in 2 months. Okay, so thanks for tuning in, and let us know if you have any questions.